Hey there, welcome to Creators Wanted. Thanks for being here. Go ahead and get comfortable, but not too comfortable. We're just getting started, but we're planning on having a little bit of fun. Because while we all might be at home, we're definitely going places. Today is about opportunities. I guess when you think about it, every day is an opportunity. But this one's different. This is about your future and the future of manufacturing, and how you can be a part of it. You see, creators and the things they create are all around us. But manufacturing is more than just making. It's about problem solving and meeting challenges. And this year, there's been no bigger challenge than the global pandemic. Manufacturing has been an essential part of seeing us through the crisis. It's provided a means of production and delivery for treatment and preventative care. Creators and their resourcefulness and resolve have been a critical part of that. And we're going to continue to need them as we move forward. But moving forward means finding more creators. According to the Manufacturing Institute and Deloitte, there's so much to do that we're going to need millions of them. And we have a plan for finding them. Events like today's are the first step. We want to reduce the skills gap in the US, and in doing so, increase the diversity of the manufacturing workforce. And if we're going to do that, people have to know what's out there, right? We want to show creators like you the kinds of careers that are available. Chances are, there are some great ones right in your backyard. Careers with competitive salaries, room for growth, and most of all, work that's meaningful. It's time. It's time to rethink a career in manufacturing. It's time to reconsider what it means to be a creator. It's time to make the future. We're glad you're here.
What does it take to make the world work? To stock our shelves, power our communities, care for those who feel pain, and experience times of great joy. At Rockwell Automation, we make all these things possible. For all of life's moments, milestones, and celebrations. We are there, helping the world work better, faster, stronger, to be more connected and more intelligent. Because we know that when we combine the imaginations of people with the power of machines, anything is possible. Together with the world's innovators, makers, and problem solvers, we stand ready to lead the way, because that is where we belong. Rockwell Automation, expanding human possibility.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Creators Wanted. We're so glad you're here. I'm your host, Aaron Smalls, and before we get started, a few quick things that I want to mention. First things first, we want you to engage with us throughout the program, and you're going to do that by using the chat bar on the right side of the screen. So make sure you go ahead and log in so that way you can ask questions and share your thoughts with us. Also, throughout the program, you're going to see some clickable links pop up across the bottom of the screen. Those links are going to give you more information on what we're talking about and who we're talking to, so you're not going to want to miss those. Also, speaking of things you're not going to want to miss, later on in the program, we're going to put your knowledge to the test with our Creators Quiz. We're going to pose a trivia question and find out just how many of you get it correct. Now, One of the goals of Creators Wanted is to increase enrollment in technical and vocational programs by 25%. Today, we're in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We're talking about the advances that have happened in automation and what that evolution means for manufacturing at large. But it's also what it means for the workforce of the future. We're talking about how targeting and growing a talent base is critical to fulfilling the workforce gap. Now, it might surprise you to hear about some of the technologies you may think of when it comes to video games like AR and VR, and how those are being used to help with training, automating, and more in the smart evolution of manufacturing. We're excited to dive into the conversation with a leader in the smart manufacturing space, Rockwell Automation. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump right into it. And we're gonna get started by handing the program off to someone you may be familiar with. She's no stranger to Creators Wanted. It's the Executive Director of the Manufacturing Institute, Carolyn Lee, and she's going to be discussing the future of the workforce in manufacturing with the Rockwell Automation Chairman and CEO, Blake Moret. So with that said, let's toss it over to Carolyn.
Thanks, Aaron. So Blake, so thrilled to be here with you today. So let's start at the top. Describe what Rockwell Automation is.
Yeah, I think it's helpful to think of Rockwell as the conductor of the symphony on a manufacturing plant floor. You have a lot of intelligent devices, you have a lot of processes going on, and Rockwell provides the technology, the hardware and the software to have all of that run together in a coordinated and efficient manner.
So what does that look like? If we had to name something or describe something, what are some of the coolest or most unexpected products that are powered by Rockwell?
Well, it would almost be easier to ask, what's not powered. You think about electric vehicles, vaccines. There's a very good chance that if somebody's involved in the process of making vaccines, then Rockwell is involved with it. Mining activities, e-commerce, the sortation and the conveyors that are running around and all of the distribution centers. Those are just a few of the examples that our technology is helping with.
And those are the things that are powering, right? It certainly has gotten us through the last year and of course, we're on the cusp of manufacturing, kind of saving the world, right? With biopharma and all the PPE and everything, and the day-to-day products that got us through the height of the pandemic when we were all kind of stuck at home. But, and you've been in the industry a long time. I know we'll talk about that more in a minute. There's so many high-tech jobs. One of our biggest challenges, as you well know, being a longtime partner and leader for the Manufacturing Institute and the work that we're doing, some of our challenge is the perception. People just don't know what the jobs are in the sector and why they would want them. So we know today our jobs are really high-tech. Can you give me some of the example of the jobs that people wouldn't think of that you have in your plants that are part of your company that people wouldn't think of today?
Well, I can think of a few different examples, to start with, as IT technology becomes more a part of advanced manufacturing, you see cloud architects in higher demand. You see cybersecurity experts. And then you have on the plant floor technicians, the people who understand how things are being made, but are also comfortable interacting with the technology. And I think across all of these, there's certain common threads. Most of the employees we see coming into the industry, they want to know that what they're doing is important. And you just said the pandemic really has taught us that you just can't make enough food and medicine and treat enough water for our population, for our communities, without that basic automation and that advanced technology. So the importance of this was really underscored. Then they want to have the tools and the support to get ahead, the kind of hands-on training, that many of us are so passionate about, to give them the skills right away to be able to contribute. And finally, they want a chance to advance and to get ahead. And manufacturing is full of stories of people who started, got that great foundation, right on the plant floor and have worked their way up into doing, just about anything that they want to.
Absolutely. And the thing is, as we'll talk about here, all that automation and kind of the modern manufacturing facility, it's powered by people, right? We have all that technology, we have all those the robots and the automation and all of the pieces that go into those systems, but it's powered by people. And so, as we look at and we talk about the future of work and we talk about the opportunities in the sector, right? And just the huge number of people we still need to attract in with over 500,000 open jobs. And we forecast with Deloitte that we'll need to fill about 2 million jobs that will go unfilled by the end of the decade because we don't have the people. So that's what Creators Wanted is really all about. But like, what are those skills? What do you hear as you're so focused on skilling and upskilling? What are the most in-demand skills today and that you see coming in the future?
Well, just to underscore what you said, our business is really about taking the imaginations of people and combining it with the potential of technology to expand human possibility. We're an automation company, but in manufacturing, it is an intensely human activity. And so the creativity, the problem solving skills, the comfort in working with very advanced technology, artificial intelligence and precision motion control. This is where it all comes together. And it's so exciting to a lot of people. And I know it's what attracted me when I was just coming out of school a long time ago, was that you can see things moving and making. It is about producing, products, and you have a chance to see how things are made and contribute to that at a time when the industry is picking up the pace. For a long time, manufacturing was seen as a very conservative industry, slow to change. But the technology is not the only thing coming in from, let's say, the carpeted part of the enterprise. You're also seeing a faster pace as the technology is changing. And so the things that people are learning about in school are able to be applied very quickly in the world of manufacturing.
Absolutely. And I think, and you alluded to this a minute ago, as we talked about the jobs, right? All the technology, the data skills, the programming skills, all of the computer science skills, those aren't, IT is no longer siloed off. It's right smack in the middle of what manufacturing is and the dynamic nature of what the sector is. It's leap years, right? It's moving at warp speed here. So, I know Rockwell is doing a lot to prepare young people for 21st century jobs and to create pathways for diverse talents. Let's talk a little bit about what Rockwell is doing.
Well, I like segmenting the keys to impact on the education in three ways. It's about lifelong learning, it's about outcome-based skills, and it's about partnerships. So when we look at lifelong learning, it starts early, and we're a big supporter of STEM skills, beginning in K through 12 and continuing on, because the traditional path of getting a high school education and then going and needing 2 or 4 years of college education, that's not the only way in. Being able to have quick hit instruction that fits your particular circumstances and when you're ready to have that additional education is a very effective way to get those hands-on skills and to be able to contribute very quickly in the world of manufacturing. Outcome-based education, again, hands-on, it's a combination. The days of just sitting in a class and listening to somebody drone on, that's not in itself going to be enough. So there's a variety of ways to learn. Apprenticeships, internships, things like that are going to be very important. And then partnerships for the learning centers to have close partnerships with the sources of talent, as well as the people who are going to be hiring the talent. And, we're both involved with programs that, in weeks, not months or years, can provide those hands-on skills to talent, either returning veterans or recent high school grads, to be able to equip them with the skills that we know are in demand by manufacturers.
Absolutely. You know, I often say education is no longer a destination, right? We have to shift to a world of lifelong learning. And I know you with all the youth work that Rockwell does and you've done, you know, when I go into schools and I see the project-based learning that students, K-12 students are doing, I'm jealous. That's not how I learned, right? That's not, and I wish it were. Maybe I would have had a different career trajectory, right? But it's so exciting to see how we're applying these skills again through apprenticeship, through the hands-on training, through the veterans work that you're doing, you know, our complementary program as well through Heroes. How we're doing this is to engage and really make people ready for the jobs, but know, and that's what people need to know about manufacturing, right? That it's not one job for 40 years and there's the end of your career. It's going to be continual learning and growth, but that means continual opportunity. So, you know, as a CEO and as a manufacturing leader, you know, what do you say you're looking for in future of manufacturing for workers and leaders?
Well, I always feel like, a certain degree of being relentless is important, and to keep with certain things, to have a dream of what you want to do, and to pursue it hard, to be able to go for it and to persevere, to make it happen. Along the way, that agility and adaptability is really important, to be open to things that come in that were unexpected. I never suggest to people that they need to have every, move in a long, what could be 35, 40-year career mapped out. Life is too complex for that. And so you want to look for things, first of all, that you want to do. Don't ever take a job that you really don't like just to get to the next one, but something that gives you an opportunity to build on a couple of strengths that you have and to close a couple of gaps. And, even within a single company, you have an opportunity to move and to learn new things throughout what can be a long career.
And that's what makes it so exciting. So speaking of career, what's the best career advice you've ever received?
Well, I just gave one piece, and that is don't ever take a job just to get to the next one if your heart's not in it. I think we spend too much time on our jobs not to do things that we have some passion for. Being open to opportunities that come in. And finally, and as I moved into this job, I was given the advice that I give freely, and that is manage your energy. Make sure that you're keeping some balance in what you do. You want to be passionate about it, but you always want to have a little bit of gas in the tank, so to speak, because you never know when you're going to be called on, at an unusual time to rise to the occasion. So that would be one piece that, I think is applicable whether you're just starting out or you're well along in your career.
I think that's great advice, and especially practical after the last year we've all had, right, where we had to adapt quickly
Absolutely.
and go into fifth gear, right, and even more.
Yeah. Yeah. And some people thought this was going to be a sprint, and it's turned into a marathon or even an ultra, right? Where you just got to keep going.
Exactly. Well, with great partners like with Rockwell and the rest of the manufacturing community, I know we're going to get there and turn a page. And so thank you for the time here, Blake. It's great to see you as always. And back to you, Aaron.
Thanks to Carolyn and Blake for kicking things off with an interesting conversation on what's happening at Rockwell Automation and within the manufacturing industry. Now it's time to direct our attention toward busting some manufacturing myths with the help of the Director of Advanced Technology for Rockwell Automation, Dave Vasco.
Thank you it's an honor to be here today with you.
Dave, welcome to Creators Wanted. Now, here on Creators Wanted, we're really trying to change the perception of manufacturing and to decrease that skills gap. So I'm going to need your help with busting some of these myths. Can you help me with that?
Absolutely.
All right, well, let's get right into it. I'm going to give you a prompt, and I'll ask you if it's truth or if it's myth, and then you kind of let me know what you're thinking there. So,
okay, I'm game for it.
Let's kick things off here with our very first prompt. The first one is, manufacturing is dingy, dirty, and dangerous work. Truth or myth?
Absolutely a myth. It's not true anymore. Manufacturing primarily is clean, it's high tech, it's really an exciting place to work. When you think about what's going on, people in maker spaces, people going and enjoying themselves, building things. That's what really manufacturing is today. Think about professional makers. That's really where the jobs are, and it's an incredible place to work.
There you go. Our first prompt is a myth. All right, here comes another one for you. This one is actually a hot topic of discussion that's often in articles and on the news. So this one is automation and robots are taking away jobs in manufacturing. Truth or myth?
It's a myth as well. And that's something that seems so intuitive. You put a robot into a manufacturing plant, it displaces a person, but that's really not the truth. There's plenty of examples, and there's a lot of research that shows that increasing productivity increases the jobs. A material handling company recently added robots to the floor. They had to triple the staff on the facility in order to keep up with the robots. An automobile manufacturer added robots to increase flexibility, and they actually increased the number of people they had in the line aiding the robots with the flexibility. So it actually is driving productivity, and productivity drives jobs.
Excellent. Once again, that's our second one that is a myth about manufacturing. All right, we've got a few more for you, Dave, to see if they are truths or if they're myths. Here we go. The next one is there's no career in manufacturing. It's just a punch in, punch out job. Manufacturing can be boring. Truth or myth?
Yeah, I think that's a misconception as well. You think about it, manufacturing is one of those jobs people might have done on the way to a real career. But that's not really true anymore. Manufacturing is an exciting place to work. It's innovative, it's fun, and there's careers that are available there, and good careers.
Yeah, on some of our previous Creators One, we've talked with a lot of people that really enjoy their career in manufacturing, and it really gives them a sense of purpose. So that's great. All right, well let's keep going with busting some myths here. Let's find out if this next one is a truth or a myth. The next one is manufacturing is labor intensive. Your tools are your hands, not your mind. Truth or myth?
Well, it never hurts to be able to use your hands, but increasingly manufacturing is more about using your mind. We used to really ask people, or people used to ask their employees to leave their brains at the door. And that's not true anymore. The automation, the robots, the artificial intelligence, that's all driving innovation. And it's expanding the human possibility. It's allowing people to do things they weren't able to do before. Technologies like virtual reality are allowing operators to be trained before they ever go to the floor, to try things out. Augmented reality allows people to collaborate on the floor. And we're seeing artificial intelligence being used to actually recognize patterns and help technicians to solve problems on the floor itself. Automation is creating jobs we never anticipated, jobs we never thought, and jobs that will even surprise us. You're seeing so much with the digital technologies rolling into the factory, making a difference. So there's going to be application developers, people that are developing smart apps on tablets, people developing apps that are on these AR devices, people developing AI applications, and just helping with those connections in the factory, being able to connect things together. So we really see a lot of development there, things we never even thought of.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. Okay, I've got one final one for you, Dave. Let's see if this one is a truth or a myth. The final one I have for you: people who work in manufacturing are task takers and can't be creative or innovative. Truth or myth?
That's definitely a myth. The manufacturing has become so innovative. We've seen it recently. With the crisis we're going through, there's been a tremendous amount of flexibility that's required. And we've seen some people work to help look at the innovation that's required, to change what they're doing, to pivot to new industries, to increase production. It's all about problem solving. And it's about this attitude of continuous improvement, coming to work each day, trying to improve things, try to be flexible, try to react to supply changes in the supply chain. So it is incredibly cerebral. There's a lot of problem-solving skills, and that's what people do best. And that is really being leveraged to its fullest in manufacturing today.
Well, there you have it, Dave. You just showed us 5 for 5. Those were all myths, and it looks like a lot of what people thought were truths about manufacturing, we just busted there. So thank you so much for helping us with that, Dave. But I thought that was the last one. I actually have one more for you. And this final one is truth or myth. Our viewers have some questions for you, Dave. Is that true or a myth?
Yeah, I think, Aaron, I think you'll tell me. What do we have? We have some good questions?
We do. This is definitely a truth. I have some questions coming in here from the audience for you. So let's see what we have. Oh, we got some good questions coming in here. Let's start with this first one here. This first one is coming in from Mark. Hey, Mark, thanks for being on the show here with us. Mark is asking, what skills do I need to get into this line of work? That's a good question. So Dave, can you tell us a little bit about what skills people would need to have in manufacturing today? So
basic mechanical skills are never a bad thing in manufacturing, but increasingly we're seeing digital skills being required. And Brookings had a recent study that showed 80% of manufacturing jobs require digital skills. So think about being able to help configure networks, to be able to do some wiring within the manufacturing plant itself, be able to look at analytics and screens and make interpretations from that. But those are all part of it today.
That's great. Well, hopefully that answers your question there, Mark. Thanks for asking that question. Here's another one coming in. This is from Kayla in Milwaukee. Milwaukee is here with us on Creators Wanted. Thanks for joining us. Kayla is asking, what are the most popular manufacturing careers right now?
That's a great question. Right now, the hottest career are technicians. There's a strong demand for technicians in the factory, particularly as we go through these digital transformations. We're taking more and more of the data, we're putting it online, we're applying analytics and artificial intelligence to it. You need technicians that are able to go in there, configure the networks, they're able to help configure the security systems, and really put it all together. And those jobs are in high demand. We actually have a training program for veterans it's aimed just at that. It's a 12-week program. It's called the Academy for Advanced Manufacturing, taking veterans and bringing them up to speed, giving them the skills they need to step in and take those technician jobs.
And are these technicians working with the technology that you had previously mentioned?
Definitely, absolutely. They're working with programmable controllers, the sensors, the networks, and building from there. Even the AI, the analytics, and some augmented reality and virtual reality as they build it out.
Great. Thanks for asking that question there, Kayla. Let's see what else we have here coming in. Okay, we've got another question. This one is from Drew from Racine. I always think of A League of Their Own when I hear that. Drew from Racine wants to know what types of jobs automation is creating. Types of jobs automation is creating?
That's a great question. So you look, there's a lot of analytics going on. So there's people that are actually working in writing the analytics applications. They're doing the display screens for that. They're interpreting data. There's a lot of artificial intelligence and machine learning. So there's people that are actually working on those aspects. There's also people that are training the artificial intelligence or machine learning, looking at the domain, looking at things that are happening in the factory, and helping to make recommendations. That's a good part. That's a bad part. Helping to train those systems themselves. So it actually is creating a lot of jobs along those lines as well.
The myths and the perception about what manufacturing was and is, you've completely busted those, I hope, for everyone that's watching. And you've definitely busted those for me, because this automation, this AI, this AR, all of this stuff is so incredible, and it's all happening in the world of manufacturing. So Dave, I can't thank you enough for being here with us on Creators Wanted, and hopefully we can get you back on here soon.
Aaron, thank you so much. I appreciate you helping us to spread the word about the fantastic careers that are out here. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thanks, Dave. And for all of you at home that are watching, myth or truth, how many of those did you get correct? Well, we're going to continue to test your knowledge on the manufacturing industry, because we're moving into our Creators Quiz. If you guys aren't having fun yet, it's time to have some fun right now, because we're moving in to our Creators Quiz. If you're new to Creators Wanted, well, we're going to test your luck and see how well you do on answering our trivia question related to manufacturing. If you've been here before, let's see if you can get it correct, or maybe if you didn't get it correct last time, you can get it correct this time. We're gonna put 20 seconds on the clock. I'm gonna ask you that trivia question, and then you're gonna have to figure it out within that 20 seconds. So you're gonna punch in on the screen in that time. Let's find out who's gonna get it correct and who's gonna get it incorrect. So here we go. The question is, what was the average number of manufacturing employees working in the state of Wisconsin in 2019? Is it 277,000? Is it 474,000, 392,000, or 349,000? Your 20 seconds starts now. So once again, the question is, what was the average number of manufacturing employees working in the state of Wisconsin in 2019? What are you guys gonna go with? Under 10 seconds remains here. Who's gonna get it correct? Who's gonna get it incorrect? This is our creators quiz. And your time is up. All right, the question one final time is, what was the average number of manufacturing employees working in the state of Wisconsin in 2019? The options were 277,000, 474,000, 392,000, or 349,000. And if you said 474,000, you were correct. Well done. If you got it incorrect, well, you'll just have to come back and join us for a future Creators Wanted and test your luck once again. Speaking of future, stick around because we're going to continue to move into the future of automation with Rockwell Automation. Thanks for sticking with us after that Creators Quiz. Now, there's still plenty of great information ahead as we explore advancements in smart manufacturing. And our next guest has some amazing insight into one of the most technologically advanced lines at Rockwell's headquarters. Here to walk us through this line of the future, please help me welcome to Creators Wanted, Dustin Rogers.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Hey, Dustin, thanks for being here. How's your day treating you so far?
It's going pretty good. You know, we're off to a pretty good start so far.
Excellent. Now, I was reading a little bit about you, Dustin, and I saw that you are a military veteran. Is that correct?
Yes, I am. I served in the United States Marine Corps.
Okay, very cool. And what were you doing when you were in the Marine Corps?
While I was in aviation electronics technician. I worked on helicopters. We'd call them rotary engines. But I was in charge of making sure the instrumentation was wired properly so our pilots could, fly the aircraft correctly. I also did other wiring throughout the entire frame of the helicopter, as well as some hydraulic work and mechanical as well.
So now you're at Rockwell, and are you using similar skills, or have you advanced your skills since then?
I would say it's a bit of both.
Okay.
Thanks to the skills I developed while I was in the Marine Corps, I could transfer some of that over to what my position is now, which is an automation technician. What I brought to the table was that I knew how to troubleshoot, knew my routines, and had my own methods. I had electrical experience, mechanical knowledge, as well as, if need be, hydraulic knowledge as well. What I gained in additional training was familiarity with a PLC, which is a programmable logic controller, and how to program it, how to troubleshoot it when something is going wrong with the program, as well as training in robotics.
That's so interesting there. So let's dive a little bit deeper into this. Talk to me about the line of the future. Walk me through that and help us to understand what happens here.
So what happens here is this line is automation first, people second. And what I mean by that is that we want the automation process and what it controls to do the majority of the work, while the people do a very minuscule amount, but basically act as the brains behind the line. And so they tell the line what to make, when to make it, and what quantity of it to make.
That's kind of a question that I think people might ask, is just kind of the balance between how much of it is robotic or automation and how much is actually humans doing the work. So what's kind of the balance there?
I'd say the balance is about 90% to 10%, 9% being the automation and the robotics taking care of the core piece of just building, whereas the human interaction of it, for that 10% would be controlling which order it's using, loading the parts for it, and making sure that the line continues to run without a fault. And if that were to occur, then human interaction would be needed to bring the system back online.
And tell me about how this is an optimal training ground for this type of relationship between automation and people.
So the biggest benefit for this is that we use the latest technology that we can get our hands on, whether it's we build it ourselves or if we have to outsource it. One of the coolest things I've gotten to use so far was a computer, and I had to wear it.
Whoa, hang on a second. You just said you're wearing a computer. Like, what does that mean, you're wearing a computer?
So we use it as basically like a heads-up display, but
Okay.
It's a headset basically that you put over your head, and it has one lens that goes over whichever eye is dominant for you. And you use that, and it shows you a computer screen. You can control it with your voice. If you want to scroll in any which direction, you just need to rotate your head. You can also have voice recordings and record videos as well at the command of your voice.
That's incredible. It's like you're playing a video game almost. That's very fascinating.
Yeah, so when video games catch up to that, I'll already be seasoned enough to know how to use it.
That's great. And you talked about your experience in the military, and you've briefly talked about what you are learning now and what you've gathered from the program. How's your perspective changed? How is it different? How is manufacturing different from what you might have thought it was and what it is now?
So I came into it with the notion that it's the same it's always been for our parents and grandparents before us, where you were hired, you did the same job for the next 4+ years until you were able to retire, and that was it. And I was going to do my best to avoid that. Well, once I got into the Academy of Advanced Manufacturing, I quickly learned that that is not the case. It's no longer a, hey, are you willing to be trained on site ready to go? It's more of, hey, we want you to be successful in this industry, but first we're going to need to train you and bring you up to speed on the advancements we've made that may not be as well known outside of the industry, but are very key to the success of the industry.
That's great. And now that you've seen all of this built out, what's maybe the coolest takeaway from your experience working in this amazing training ground?
I would say the coolest experience is just, seeing the live action results of all the adjustments I make. It's very gratifying to know that the hours I spend here are not wasted. It allows me to help build not only a training program and regimen for those that come after me, not only at Rockwell, but at our customer sites, but as well as come up with a documentation to help support them that we are currently building as of right now, so that they have a smooth and easy transition process when they implement the same type of scenario into their operations.
Man, Dustin, that's amazing. I mean, you've got me really excited about this. I hope the folks at home are excited about it as well. Thank you so much for being here with us, Dustin. And for everyone that's watching at home, don't go anywhere, because coming up here in just a moment, we have a special message from Mary Burgoon about Rockwell's Academy of Advanced Manufacturing. And we're also going to hear from more folks just like Dustin. We're going to hear from some more veterans who have gone through this program. So don't go anywhere.
Hi, my name is Mary Burgoon, and I am the Business Development Manager for the Academy of Advanced Manufacturing at Rockwell Automation. This is a really innovative program that Rockwell Automation and Manpower Group initiated in 2017, and it's really to serve two missions. One, to address the technical skills gap in manufacturing, and secondly, to support our military veterans. In 2017, we were hearing a lot, repeatedly from our customers saying, talented skilled workers are hard to find. So our CEOs at Manpower Group and Rockwell Automation got together and said, what would it look like to try to solve this problem? We know that technology is rapidly advancing and people are retiring faster than the population can replace it. And so we thought, what could we do? Where is there a pool of people that come highly skilled that with a short amount of training, we could provide to them a career advancing job that would also help our customers? And that was the genesis of the Academy of Advanced Manufacturing. Since 2018, that first year was really a building year. That first year was, we took a curriculum that we had already deployed at Rockwell Automation for our engineer and training, where we train early career engineers. And so this technology, or this curriculum rather, was pressure tested. We had trained thousands of engineers. So we knew that it was really valuable to our customers. So we took that and said, we're not training engineers, we want to train technicians. So we tailored it for the technician role, and we were able to get up and running really quickly. We had labs, we had instructors, and we had the wherewithal to get going. Since 2018, we have graduated more than 225 military veterans, and over 85% are working in manufacturing. So what makes this program so unique is that it is competency-based. It is what our customers, those manufacturers, tell us that they need. The hardest roles to fill are those with automation and controls experience. As manufacturing moves so quickly into the digital transformation, they need talented, skilled people that have experience with IT and OT, and Rockwell Automation and the Academy of Advanced Manufacturing serves as a bridge. We take the military veterans and provide 12 weeks of accelerated training, in-person technical training, and also hands-on lab. We also provide some professional soft skills to them. At the end of that, they take on roles such as control systems technicians, field service technicians, and also maintenance technicians, driving success at our customers. We hear all the time that many of our customers, the gap that they need to help them meet their production goals is not the technology. It is the people that know how to run their equipment and maintain that equipment and troubleshoot. And that's where the Academy of Advanced Manufacturing comes in. We provide, I'm sitting here in our lab, and you can see how high tech this is. So the veterans that come in, many of them have a highly skilled technical background, but may not have worked in manufacturing. So as I mentioned, we serve as a bridge to help them deploy the skills that they learned in the military and apply those tremendous skills in a manufacturing setting. And so they spend quite a bit of time working in this lab and a lot of hands-on experience. This is the technology that is in our customers' plants. So when they start on day one, they are helping our customers be more successful, be more productive. Our manufacturers have many employees already, but maybe they don't know how to move from their older technology to more advanced technology. And that's where the Academy of Advanced Manufacturing fills that void. We've been highly successful, and our goals are to keep moving forward. We continue to evolve and grow, thinking about how do we train 1,000 a year, 1,000 graduates a year. So we're very excited about the growth potential, and we're also very excited and happy with the graduates that we have now. They come to Rockwell Automation and they learn quite a bit, and they're still part of our family as they leave. And we're very proud of them, and we're tremendously happy to be able to support our customers as well. Thank you very much.
So I was in the Air Force for 3 years and some change as an aircraft armament systems technician. I was on the B-52. I got to do nuclear as well as conventional bombs.
I spent 4 years in the Navy. I was attached to HAC-5 Night Dippers, which held about 8 helicopters.
No plans to go to college, nothing, just straight into the Marine Corps. They convinced me to do aviation electronics for the CH-53 Echo.
Coming out of the Navy, I felt pretty lost. I have all these amazing skills that make me employable, but I'm not sure how to apply them in a civilian world.
I was on the phone with my wife, and I was getting a phone call from Wisconsin.
I just graduated, and while going to interviews here and there, one of the recruiters for this program emailed me.
I think it was William Moss Bill, and when I was listening to it, I was like, that sounds amazing. Opportunity to learn some engineering, to work with robotics. Yes, I will do this.
And I thought, is this real? And luckily it turned out to be quite real.
I actually had a colleague in the Navy. He went through a He called me in, he said, hey, look, I just went through this amazing program. You should try it. Most of us came in not knowing anything about manufacturing. I never even heard of a PLC, a programmable logic controller.
When I think about manufacturing, I just think about there's a I Love Lucy episode where she's taking the chocolate candies off of the conveyor belt.
Rockwell and Manpower Group provided me such an amazing and immersive experience.
It is the most hands-on program I've ever seen. We do the theory, and then 30 seconds later, we're in the lab with our hands on the same technology we just talked about.
They've definitely spent some time trying to figure out, what's the best way we can teach groups of veterans a highly technical field.
Many of the instructors and personnel here are actually veterans too, so they can relate to what you've been through. They help you out a lot. They want to see you succeed.
Manpower taught us the professional and soft skills, how to build an effective, high-performing team, about strong leadership and what makes a good leader.
Anybody who is thinking about making a better life, definitely do this program. For something that's going to be booming in the future, there are millions of jobs that need to be filled.
I can say that AAM has been one of the most impactful opportunities that I've ever been given, maybe even more than the military.
It turned out to be real, and it turned out to be a great opportunity, especially for someone like me.
Calling all makers. Playmakers and changemakers. Rainmakers. Noisemakers and merrymakers. Newsmakers. Those who make experiences count. Those who make machines faster and smarter. Calling on those who want to make an impact by experimenting, pushing, questioning, persisting. Those who make customers delight and collaborate across time zones and industries. Those who innovate using data, making a difference through ones and zeros. Those who desire to make the impossible possible. Join us, Makers Wanted.
Wow, what an absolutely incredible program this has been today. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself and you learned a whole lot about the manufacturing industry. And as we've seen today through conversations with creators and leaders at Rockwell Automation, there are a lot of incredible innovations and developments happening in the world of manufacturing. This is such an exciting time where technology is creating better, more advanced, and more effective manufacturing spaces. And we need more creators just like you filling these careers that are on the cutting edge. For more information, make sure you guys check out creatorswanted.org to learn more about different pathways to becoming a creator. Again, I'm your host, Aaron Smalls, and thank you guys so much for joining us right here on Creators Wanted.